Now, if you want to see the most of London and you want to do it on the red bus, which of course is an iconic part of London, we're going to start our series where we're going to take you on bus routes around London to get the most out of. In other words, some of the sights to see and you only pay for it using your Oyster card or your contactless debit card, whichever way you're going to pay. So join us as we go on the 24 from the Hampstead Heath all the way through to the end of the journey. Join us. So not only is Hampstead Heath a fantastic place to come to, not just because it's the start of the 24 bus route, but it's one of those lovely little places with independent shops, lots of coffee shops, cafes, etc. to come and have a bite to eat and also to have a drink. But it's one of those lovely little places to have a little mooch around. Right, getting here is easy. Hampstead Heath station is on the overground line, so that's nice and easy. You can use your TfL card there. And also if you're coming up here, you're right by the side of Hampstead Heath, but also Parliament Hill as well, which adjoins, which gives you amazing views across London. Right, let's get on the bus. Let's go through Hampstead Heath suburbs and see some of these beautiful houses as we go through as well. And as you can see, we've done this, well, early spring, so there you go, the leaves aren't out on the trees yet, so you get a slightly different view later. Right, this is the upstairs of the top deck of the bus, so we got the front seat on the right hand side of the bus, so above the driver, so you can almost imagine that you're driving the bus, but also it gives you great views as well. As you can see here on the top deck, it's all completely covered, unlike some of the tour buses. So what we really want to do with this video is just give you the idea that you don't need to go on those tour buses. You can actually just use normal TfL buses, jump on, jump off. It's a lot cheaper because I know those tour buses are at least £20 per person per day to use those. So with this and just using some of the buses and having the confidence to use those buses, you can really see a lot of London. So straight ahead, after going through the Hampstead Heath suburbs and down through Chalk Farm, etc., straight ahead behind that brick wall is Camden Market. So you've got Camden Market here on the right hand side. Oh, and by the way, just to let you know, this isn't the full journey, okay? So this is going to be edited. So basically I've sat in the traffic jam so you don't have to. So we've edited that out as well. And you'll see lots of traffic lights go from red to green as well. So there you go, classic Camden Market. So if you fancy coming down here, as you can see, it's open all the time. By the way, nice coffee shop under that green awning there. Yes, we've been there and featured that on a previous video. And also we cut you out with the traffic jams as well. So here we are. Camden, which is one of the first places that the 24 really hits before it gets into central London. Now the 24 runs on a very regular basis. In fact, there's a bus almost every 5 or 10 minutes, so you're never far from it at all. Plus there's loads of interchanges as well with the underground stations. Right, we're coming up by Mornington Crescent now, which is almost like the next station along on the tube line. And right opposite here is a fascinating building. This is the old Carrera cigarette factory, which was built in 1926 in an Egyptian revival architecture style, which is quite something. We'll have to feature that another time. Right, here we are. We're now at the top of Tottenham Court Road, and of course you can see on the right hand side there the post office tower. So the route really brings you in through sort of northwest London into North London, and then you come to Tottenham Court Road. Here you go down Tottenham Court Road, down past Trafalgar Square through Whitehall. So we're going to be doing all of that, round by Victoria and eventually to Pimlico. The whole journey itself, doing it even with the traffic that I did in the middle of the week, oh, I don't know, about 3/4 of an hour to an hour maximum. It really doesn't take that long for bus journeys. There are a lot longer ones that are out there. But once again, if you've got any suggestions for bus routes or places that take in you can go on the bus, then do let us know. Drop us a comment down below. We're going to pick that up because we're going to do a few of these. Now, I know there are other channels which are completely dedicated to London buses. We're not pretending to be those at all, but we just want to give you a flavour because many people watch this channel because they are coming to London to get some ideas, whether you're coming from afar in another part of the globe or alternatively just coming from another part of the UK down to London for a bit of a trip, just to give you an idea and also once again just give you that feel of riding the London buses. So the tall building that's in front of us is Centre Point, which is really visible from all over the West End of London. So if you see that, you know that's where Tottenham Court Road is. That really does help you get your direction. And that's the Dominion at Tottenham Court Road, which of course had We Will Rock You in there for many, many years. And as you can see, they're just about to start Sister Act. By the time this video goes out, it will have been going for some time. Now, one of the places that we have featured a couple of times on our channel is this place called Outernet, where you can go in and they've got amazing screens and effects, and that is just underneath this video screen here on the left hand side, and you just go in there. So that just gives you an idea of where we are. So this is the Charing Cross Road. We've just gone over at Tottenham Court Road where it meets Oxford Street, and then as we come down here you'll see there's a flag as we approach it on the right hand side, and that is the Foyles Bookshop, which once upon a time was in the Guinness Book of Records for having the most space, or most shelf space, and it was over 30 miles of shelf space in one bookshop. Incredible. That was many moons ago, and now there's lots of bookshops like it. But Foyles is one of those great places to come in London. If you fancy looking at books, great cafe, so you can sit up there, take your books and go and sit and relax and chill up in the cafe. Right, you've got the Harry Potter, which is on here at Cambridge Circus. And then as you go around as well, you get a nice view. And then just by Brewdog, but to the left of it, you can't quite see it out the bus here, just down there is Seven Dials. So it just goes to show how close everything is in London. And that's the wonderful thing. Once you get into central London, everything is right on top of it. So as the lights change colour, we're going to go over Cambridge Circus. There you go, gives you an idea. There goes the bike. Mind you, they don't wait for the traffic lights around here anyway. That's also another fascinating thing. Sitting on top of the bus, you think, how do these bus drivers do it day in, day out? We're going to go down the Charing Cross Road up to Trafalgar Square via, well, Leicester Square on the right hand side, but you're going to see the tube station in just a couple of seconds. And let's face it, London wouldn't be London without some regeneration going on. Now, this scaffolding was actually on the right-hand side until recently. Now they've moved it over to the other side, so they really are doing a sort of a refurb down here. So you've got Leicester Square tube station here. At these traffic lights, you've got the Hippodrome, and if you then turn right, that takes you down to Leicester Square. If you turn left, then you end up in Covent Garden. Yes, everything is nice and close by. Plus, you've got all the theatres as you come down here as well. And then the building that you've got directly in front of you is the National Portrait Gallery, which, well, it's completely free, and if you're coming up here, do make sure you book your tickets in advance because it is amazing. One of those great art galleries where you walk around and just go, you can't believe you're looking at paintings from, well, over 500 years ago. So definitely one of those, and I'm going to put a link to that video up in the top right hand corner so you can see what we saw when we went there, just to whet your appetite. Now this is a lovely view ahead. You can just make out the London Eye above the buildings in the middle, and the church that you're looking at there with the steeple is St Martin in the Fields. Now, I go to St Martin in the Fields quite often, and the reason I do that is because they've got an amazing cafe underneath the church called the Crypt Cafe. Now, I'm going to put a link to that video up in the top right hand corner because that's one of our secret places in London if you fancy getting away from it all. And it's really hot, it's lovely and cool down there, and it's also nice and warm when it's cold outside, so it's just one of those great places to go, and they do some fantastic food and drink down there. Then that's the entrance just over there on the left hand side. So if we're at St Martin in the Fields, it can only mean one thing: Trafalgar Square is over the road. Yes, there you go, you've got Trafalgar Square, so you've got Nelson's Column. By the way, that crane isn't going up to Nelson's Column, that's just behind it, just a camera angle. Plus you've got all the fountains. Also, you've got live music that's happening up there as well. You've always got buskers that are playing, so there's always entertainment. And then the building, which is just on the right hand side, which is just out of view there, is the National Gallery. And the reason we wanted to feature the number 24 bus route to start with, it really does take you through the major places in London, and it also goes to show you how close everything is as well. And we haven't got anywhere near Pimlico yet. And I don't know, there's just something wonderful about being on the top top deck of a bus and getting a great view across London, because I don't do it often enough, but it just gives you a different perspective, and it's just lovely having a look around. There you go, that's the National Gallery that's over there on the right hand side as we then scan round. Okay, so we're now going to go, once these traffic lights change here, and we're going to go down Whitehall. That statue on the horse we have featured in a previous video, and that is King Charles I sitting on a statue, and that dates back, well, to the 1600s. Also, the other incredible thing about that statue is that all points to London are measured to there. There you go. So if you wanted to know where London is measured to, it's that statue of King Charles I on his horse. Right, we're now on Whitehall, and as you can see, you've got Big Ben in front of you. I'm going to call it Big Ben. Please don't put anything in the comments down below. I know that it's not its real name. But anyway, that's it. Everyone knows it about. So you can see the clock tower there. And then on the right hand side, you've got the back entrance into Horse Guards Parade, where you've got the horses and the cavalry on duty there. You've got Old Scotland Yard, which is on the left hand side. Yes, that's where Old Scotland Yard used to be as well. And you've got all of the government buildings. Yes, all the UK government buildings are based down this street, or most of them are as well. Plus, you've got various statues commemorating certain people. And also, we're going to go past the Cenotaph at the end of Downing Street in just a second. There you go. That's the back entrance into Horse Guards Parade. Now, one of the things that's a real advantage of being on one of these buses as well is there's lots of bus stops you can get on and off as you need to, which is great, but also if it keeps stopping as these do, it gives you a great chance to have a look around as well at what is going on, and that is the Cabinet Office building. So behind there is Downing Street, and you can just see the gates on the left hand side, just between the two buildings there. Now, if you fancy any more information on any of these places, we've previously covered them in our podcast. So if you've got a podcast provider, go to that, put in London Visited, you'll find our podcasts. Those gates, that's as close as you're going to get to Downing Street, and it's right up there. Unfortunately, until 1991, you could actually get up there. But then in 1991, because of a terrorist attack, they've closed down Downing Street, and it's not accessible to the public any longer. And the great thing is, if you stand at the gates, sometimes you never know who's going to go in there. And there was one time I was cycling down Whitehall, well, about a year or so ago, and as I did, the Prime Minister was going into Downing Street as they were driving down Whitehall, followed by President Zelensky as well from the Ukraine. So it was a whole procession of cars, there was security everywhere, but you never know who you're going to see, and quite often the Prime Minister's car will come out and do this little stretch, because then they go into the Houses of Parliament at the gates, which are just bang in the centre on the other side of the road there. So you've got the Palace of Westminster here. And as we go round, that's Westminster Abbey with the big towers behind the church, which is right in front. And then as you go round, of course, you've got Big Ben, or at least here from the angle we've got, you can't see the clock face because you're right underneath it. But once again, if you want to get out, you can do, because you can also come and stand in Parliament Square, which is this expanse of green, which they've just laid the grass down to make it look all beautiful, ready for summer. And if you're going to come to Parliament Square, do come and spend some time, because there are 12 statues all around of world famous politicians, so it's well worth coming to have a look at. Right, on the left hand side here, you've got Westminster Abbey. Never been there? You need to go. It's an amazing place, and I'll put our link to the video that we've done on that up in the top right hand corner for you, so you don't miss out. Now, one of the things I mentioned a couple of times, you really get a sense of how close everything is. And we've just gone around Parliament Square, where you've got Downing Street, you've got Whitehall, plus you've also got the Palace of Westminster, and here we go, Westminster Abbey, all on top of each other. Now, one thing I want to point out is this double-decker bus that's here on the right-hand side, and this is the Golden Tours, and it's a T-bus. So if you fancy doing something really different, you can have an afternoon tea or a morning tea sitting on the top of a double-decker bus or downstairs whilst you're munching away and watching the London sights. No idea how much it cost, but if you Google it, well, certainly something different. Now, another advantage to getting around London on a bus is quite often the buses will use these things, which are the bus lanes, which are reserved for them, taxis and also cyclists as well. So it means you can also move to places very, very quickly. Right, now in front of us we've got Victoria Station, but that clock you can see there is called Little Ben. Never heard of it?
It's as old as Big Ben. I think it might even be a little bit older. Anyway, I'll put a link to the video we've done on that in the top right hand corner because, well, everyone comes to see Big Ben, but no one comes to see Little Ben, which you can get right up close to. Really hoping you're enjoying our bus tour on the 24, taking you from Hampstead Heath all the way through to Pimlico, showing you the highlights here. And if you are, do us a favour, will you? Give the video a thumbs up. That will help us spread this out to more people so that they can love London as well. And if you haven't subscribed and you're loving this, we have more bus journeys to come. And one of the ones that we're going to do is called the Heritage T15 route. So the old Route Master buses were taken out of service in the early 2000s, but some of them are still in existence and are being run by a private company doing the Heritage route, which, believe it or not, goes all the way from Tower Hill via Monument, St Paul's, goes via Aldwych all the way to Trafalgar Square, and you can get on and off that as many times as you like. Now, you can't use a TfL card, you can't use the Oyster card, you can't use your contactless, but you can purchase a ticket for the day. I think it's something like £7.50 and children £5. You can get on and off it, but you can actually ride an old Route Master bus. So if that's something you fancy doing, and if you don't remember what a Route Master bus is, that's the one with an open platform at the back. Yeah, that's the really old type of London bus. So if you fancy having a go on that one, then just go online, put in Heritage Route T15 in London, and it will all come up. So we're now behind Victoria and we're in the area of Pimlico, which is a beautiful area just to come and investigate on foot. And it's one of those places I put on my list that I'm definitely going to come back and film because some of the houses around here are incredible. And also there are some little side streets, mews and also cafes as well. So it's certainly something we're going to be featuring another time on this channel, a video especially on this area. Right, so we're going to go further down the road. We literally go around the corner and that is almost the end of the video, but you're never going to guess where it brings you out. Haha, have a wait. Have we got some great views for you where the bus actually terminates? So whilst we're gathering all our belongings together so we don't leave anything on here and it doesn't end up in the lost property office, getting on a bus is really easy in London. You can use your Oyster card or use your contactless card, and you literally, as you get on, you tap in. That's it. You don't have to tap out, and it's that simple. You can go for as many journeys as you like, and it's all included within your price for the day of moving around the different zones. Right, where does it bring you out? Yes, right opposite here. If you're a regular watcher of the channel, you know we come to Battersea quite a bit for different things. And there you go, there's the bus terminus there, and it's right opposite Battersea Power Station, which is amazing. Also, just note as well, when we started off, the weather in Hampstead Heath was quite cloudy and overcast. And now look at it, it's a beautiful sunny day, which I've got a funny feeling is going to give me trouble in a couple of minutes when I talk to camera. So did you enjoy the Route 24? And have you got any suggestions for any other routes that you'd like us to do or places to take in on the top of a London double-decker bus? If so, just drop them in the comments down below. And we're going to leave you with this amazing view over Battersea Power Station and the Thames.
So that was the bus Route 24 taking you from Hampstead Heath all the way down to here, which is Pimlico, which is right opposite Battersea Power Station, which is a beautiful route. I hope you enjoyed that one. It's one of the things that we want to do because when you think about getting around London, most people either think about walking or grabbing the tube, but the buses, there are just so many fantastic routes that take you through some fantastic parts of London. Some of them are extremely historical, so you can get on and off. It makes it really easy to travel, but also we want to bring you some of the lovely routes which show you some great parts of London as well. So I really hope you enjoyed that. Now, to help you get around London, I've put a video up in the top right hand corner, which is our different ways of doing London, different ways of traveling, which you can use with your Oyster card or your debit card. So if you click on that video in the top right hand corner, I'll see you in there.